This is the way that I like to join things into the round. I'm on a circular needle, but the same theory works on double pointed needles. So I've got all my stitches cast on. I've stretched them out from one needle tip to the other. The needle with the working yarn attached is in my right hand. The tail of yarn is there too because I used a long tail cast on, but that'll depend on your cast on. I put my marker on after the last stitch that I knit. Then to get started, I just want to push these stitches up so they're kind of bunched up on the left needle, and I'm just going to start knitting. Nothing fancy, but I do want to make sure as I get started that the last stitch of the round and the first stitch of the round are already pretty close neighbors. And as I do this next round, I want to let them stay close and friendly. So I'm just doing a plain knit stitch. I'm going to go a little fast because you know how to do the knit stitch, I should hope. If you're starting in the round, it's nice to have done something flat first. Now when I need to stop and move my stitches around, I want to treat these as a group from a couple before to a couple after the marker. So I'm going to push them down here as opposed to pulling there, because if I pull here, that's going to create a stress point at this kind of a weak spot that I've got here. Then I'll bunch up these on my other side and keep knitting. Again, I'll go a little fast because I just need to get around to the beginning of the round so you can see how that works. Now, some people do fancy techniques where they add an extra stitch and do a decrease or do a sort of a little cable. I don't bother doing that. I just take a little extra care in this first round, and that is all I find that I need. So again, every so often, push these down, push these up, and as I get close to this join coming up, I just want to be careful that I don't yank by pushing up there. I want to push from behind my marker and get them all bunched up here. And then as I come up to my beginning of the round where the marker is, I want to be careful that I don't stop when I get there and fuss with anything. A lot of people stop and they create a problem where there isn't one. So again, I'm going to make sure I'm pushing up from behind so that I don't put any stress on that point. And as I come here, I'll slow down for you. I'm going to be just knitting, nothing fancy. And as I get to this last one, I'm just going to power through the last two and the first two without pausing. So last one, marker, first couple before I pause. And this is when I would stop to check that I don't have any twists. I usually check that before I've joined, but occasionally it happens on the first round. So if I want to stop and pause and check, a couple stitches after the marker, and then if there's no twists, I'm safe to go. And you can see this is really nice and connected. There is a trick that you can use this tail to weave that in and connect it even a little bit more later on when you're tucking in your yarn tails. But for now, what you're looking for is something that feels nice and secure there, and without any special technique, it's worked out really nicely.